Hello and Assalamualaikum to Madam. Today we will be presenting about the film review for the movie The Intern. My name is Nadia Ajana and I'll go on about the synopsis of the movie. So,
Okay.
the movie Intern, it basically tells the story about how starting a new job might be difficult, especially if you are already retired. But the opportunity to work as a senior intern at a fashion company appeals to Ben Whittaker. He is a 70-year-old widower who is eager to get back in the game. Jules Austin is the company's founder and supervisor, and she is particularly fond of Ben among his younger subordinates. Jules and Ben have a special bond and growing friendship as a result of his charm and sense of humor. Moving along.
Hello everyone, my name is BALQIS and I will continue with the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is MBTI. So as we can see through this movie, Ben Whittaker is someone who have the ISTP personality. He is someone introvert who enjoy alone time to recharge social batteries, but he still can allow himself to be socialized with other people. And move to Jules Austin. Jules Austin is someone who INTP. She is someone introvert who value and enjoy alone time. And she always try to be empathetic and caring towards others. And she's very adept with the surrounding around the company. And she also can be socialized, but she need her alone time to recharge. Next, move to Jason. Jason is someone have ENTP personality, which is extrovert, who thrive on socializing. He is a big picture thinker, but he less focus on details. So as we can see through this Jason's character in the Intern's movie, Jason always applies logical reasoning to his ideas, and he also someone who very spontaneous. And the last one, ISTJ, it's a Louis. Louis is introvert, yet approach and friendly, but he always relies on his sense and always observe surrounding him. He always thinking oriented and do analytic approaches, and someone that very judgmental and always judging people around him.
Thank you, Balqis. So I would like to talk about Fiona from the movie The Intern and her MBTI personality type. So Fiona is an ENFJ, which stands for extroversion, intuition, feelings, and judging. This means that she is outgoing, imaginative, and empathetic, and organized. ENFJ are known for their ability to inspire and motivate others. They are natural leaders who are able to see the potential in others and help them achieve their goals. In the movie, we can see that this trait in Fiona as she interacts with her colleagues and help them grow both personally and professionally. Next, move on to Becky. Becky is an ISTJ type, which stands for introverted, sensing, thinking, and judging. This type is often described as dependable, realistic, practical, and beautiful. Next, move on to Davis. Davis is an ENFP, which is this is because Davis is extroverted and sociable. He enjoys talking to people and making friends. He is friendly and cheerful with his customer and coworker and Ben. He also likes to go out and have fun with his colleague after work. Next, move on to Doris, which is played by Celia Weston. She is ISFJ, which is warm, dedicated, and constantly prepared to stand up for their loved one. They are trustworthy and devoted, frequently prioritizing the needs of others over their own. They also prefer to stick with what they know and trust because they are practical and realistic. They have organized and careful carrying out their responsibilities and promises, and also exhibit empathy and compassion for others around them and are considerate and polite. We can proceed to the next one.
Alright, good evening, Miss and all. I'm Muhammad Syamir. So I'll be discussing on the perceptual distortion. So we'll start with the first one is fundamental error. It simply describes a person's propensity to attribute another person's behavior to their personality or character while attributing their own behavior to outside uncontrollable situational conditions. In other words, you tend to be lenient with yourself while being totally strict with others. Right. So we can see in the movie, the CEO, Jules, the character played by Anne Hathaway, she is someone that always like coming to the meeting late, but she doesn't acknowledge her own mistake. But however, when she sees someone like her staff going to the meeting late or like going to the work time late, she will criticize them although she made the same mistake. All right, so we move on to the self-serving bias. All right, it's a prevalent practice of taking credit for positive experiences or outcomes while blaming external sources for poor ones. It's known as a self-serving bias, such as age, culture, clinical diagnosis, other factors can all have an impact on this. Right, it typically affects a large number of population. Right, so we'll just move on to the next one. Okay, selective perception. Perception refers to the tendency of individuals to perceive and interpret information in a way that aligns with their existing beliefs, values, or interests. People often filter information based on their preferences. They just want to hear what they want rather than hear something new, and the information based on their uh, preferences leading to biased perception and judgment. Right. So from the movie, we can see during they are holding a meeting, the new younger staff, he proposed a new idea to the higher board of the company, because of the new idea, and they've never understand or they can never overlook of it what it may cause to the company in the future. So they just brutally reject the idea because it's something new to them and they just don't want to adapt to the new environment easily. Right. So for the halo effect. Halo effect is a cognitive bias where an individual's overall impression of a person influences their perception of that individual's specific traits or qualities. If someone has a positive impression of another person, they may tend to view all aspects of that person's performance or behavior in a positive light, even if it's not warranted. Right. Similarly, if someone has a negative impression, it can color the perception of everything that person does. Right. So by picking a scene from the movie, the CEO of the company, same that placed by the Anna Hathaway, she the band Whitaker impressed her, the CEO, by his good performance during the job interview. So the Jules, she interpret him as someone that's perfect in every aspect of qualities. But however, she doesn't look at him in the details in every aspect because of his old age. So he's highly adapted to the modern technology. So while giving all the tasks and the job to him, she overlooked it and he made mistake while doing it. So even when we see someone new, we need to judge them from every aspect of their life. Right? I think that's all for me. I'll pass on to the next one.
Moving along is the contrast effect. It basically means that we enhances the difference between things when we compare them, which alters how we perceive them. So comparison can be made out of a variety of aspects. And when we take two things and we compare them to one another, we evaluate them differently, which will cause a bias known as the contrast effect results. Moving along is the similar to me effect. It is a cognitive bias that explains our propensity to favor those who share our appearance and mentality because we have an attraction to things that are similar and familiar to us. For example, during an interview, the interviewer will always bias the interviewers that share the same things and the same passion with them. Moving along is projecting. So projections are yet another form of perceptual distortion in which people attribute to others the trait or emotions that they themselves experience. For an example, in the movie, when Anne Hathaway, who plays the character Jules, she was seen dropping off her kid at her school, and all of the other moms are projecting their insecurities because Anne Hathaway plays a character that is very successful on her own, and that she is quite different from the rest because the rest of the mothers are mostly depending on their husbands. So because of that difference, the other moms are seen to be projecting the insecurities towards Anne Hathaway. Next is stereotyping, when people identify particular traits or characteristics to a set of people due to their involvement in that group. This is known as stereotyping. Lastly is confirmation bias, when individuals seek out and interpret information in a way that confirms their existing beliefs or expectations. Moving forward will be the effectiveness.
Okay, so I will continue with the effectiveness through this film, which is the intern. So the first one is the importance of have work-life balance. In this movie, we clearly see that Jules' very dedication to her job that affect her relationship with his husband. At the end, we can see that his husband cheat on her, even he already apologized. But we cannot put all the blame to the husband because the husband also need the attention, but Jules only focus on her job and didn't see his husband and make a time with his husband. Next.
Another impact for this movie is that this movie challenged the stereotype and prejudice about older workers and younger bosses, which is the intern demonstrate that getting older is not a barrier to learning, developing, or socializing. Additionally, it demonstrates that older employee and younger manager can collaborate successfully and profit from one another's idea and experience. This movie also encouraged viewers to accept that value people of all ages and background while also celebrating the diversity and possibilities of the integrational workforce. Next.
Moving forward, it talks about the benefit of staying in touch with your coworkers during and after work hours to maintain a relaxed and welcoming work environment for you and the rest of your coworkers. This is shined by both of the main characters, Ben and Jules, because they didn't really get on the same page at the start of the movie, but because of how they keep a good relationship after work hours, they are seen to finally be accepting of each other, and a bond between them have been created at the end of the movie. Moving forward.
Hi, my name is Mohammed bin Zailan. So the next part is recommendations or suggestions. And this is mainly talking about the lessons to be learned from the movie. So the first lesson to be learned is that you need to be open-minded and not judge a book by its cover. So just like my friend has said, when you first meet a person, you have perpetual distortion on how they actually are. So by being open-minded, you get to accept the people for their actions and make new friends. Next is for people to learn someone's true colors by making effort to know them. So in the movie, Ben and Jules started having a bad relationship because they did not know each other. But throughout the movie, and after getting to know each other over the course of a few days, they became very trusting towards one another, which allowed Jules to make a decision to improve herself and the company. Next is to accept of change and allow oneself to grow. So in the movie, it is shown that Ben is already an old character, but even though he is old, he is still willing to learn new techniques and new things so that he can adapt in the world and to get more work done. That's how he got hired by the company, by learning how to record a video of himself for an interview. And lastly is to never be close-minded and always ask for help when needed. So in the movie, the character Jules was very stressed by her work life, but she did not ask anyone for help because of her own pride. But this only caused her to be more stressed and create more problems. But by the end of the movie, when she finally did ask for help, all her problems were solved because she asked for help. And these are the lessons to be learned. Okay, moving on.
So in the conclusion, The Intern is a heartwarming comedy drama that explores the importance of work-life balance, lifelong learning, and mentorship. This film challenge age stereotype and show the professional success no age limit. So basically, based on this movie, we can learn that we will never late to learn something and we will never young to make a mistake. So that's all from us. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.